Hello guys, and welcome back to another KSP2 video. And in this video I will be doing a little docking tutorial, a step-by-step docking tutorial. So as you can see, we're starting off with step 1, which is of course building your vessel. You of course need to build some kind of rocket or ship to get to orbit, or at least you need to dock with something you have in orbit. So yes, this is a start. We are building our little vessel right here. It's a simple rocket. Now I'm not showing the build time lapse of the target itself because well, it's just unnecessary waste of time. Like really, you could just send 2 of these into orbit and then dock them together. So there we go, it's mostly there. Ooh, there's a little lag. That's weird. Well, I guess after all, this is time-lapse, basically. So adding all the little things to our ship, I would recommend adding some monopropellant as well, just to make things easier. Although the method I'll be showing doesn't need any monopropellant, it's better to have some. So there we go, a little bit of monopropellant. I'm also gonna add some solar panels to make sure that we're always electrified. And there we go, this is the current rocket. So I'm trying to center it, put it right here around the middle. So the next step is, of course, we need to add the things. But next step is we need to wait. There we go, step 2, wait. We need to wait until our target, which is the vessel in orbit, is just a little bit behind us. So make sure it's just that little bit behind you, and then you can launch. So there we go, just about this is pretty good. And let's now launch. Step 3, launch. It's probably one of the more important steps, because if you don't launch, then you're not even gonna dock if you don't launch. So there we go, we are now launching. So just remember the simple getting to orbit. So yeah, before watching this tutorial, go watch my orbit tutorial. That is more important. You need to know how to get to orbit before this, so go check that out. There's going to be a card up screen. So yeah, you want to aim to be at about 45 degrees at about 10,000 meters, and then you hold 45 degrees until you're about a minute away from your apoapsis, and then you start pointing prograde. So gradually just tilting yourself down. If you want more information, then once again go check out my orbit tutorial, getting to orbit tutorial. So there we go, first stage gone. We're gonna make a little maneuver node to get to orbit. So you guys know how to do this. So we just want to get a nice circular orbit, and then we'll change our orbit to get a better encounter, a better intersect with our target, basically. So yeah, I did set my ship in orbit as my target, of course. Don't forget to do that, it's important to do so. So what's the next step? Well, of course we just need to wait until we're there. Let's deploy our solar panels to make sure we're electrified. And once we reach our maneuver node, we're gonna burn. There we go, engines on. We are now getting to orbit. So there we go, we're almost in orbit. There we go, we're in orbit. So now let's make a save game. Remember, always quick save, it's very important. So now we are at step 4, which is making maneuver nodes. We're going to be making a lot of maneuver nodes to make sure we get a nice encounter. So first maneuver node you want to do is change your inclination. You want to do a normal, anti-normal maneuver node to make sure you're at the right inclination. That's very important. You don't want to mess, I am messing with other things, but first thing you want to do anti-normal, normal. That's very important, you need to do that. So now we're just gonna warp to our maneuver node, and there we go. We're gonna do our little burn to get ourselves into the right inclination, and there we go. We are the right inclination. Next, you want to make another maneuver node. Now you need to understand something about docking. It's about fiddling around with maneuver nodes. Like your goal is to fiddle around with maneuver nodes. You're gonna be fiddling around a lot with maneuver nodes until you get a good encounter. Another thing you need to remember is that if you really can't get a good encounter, then actually try to get yourself into a lower orbit and then just skip orbits until you see a much closer encounter. As you can see, I'm not really getting the right encounter without like somehow entering the atmosphere. So yeah, I'm really trying. So that's the goal. That's the thing about docking. You're gonna be playing around with maneuver nodes. It's inevitable. It's a game of trial and error. So just remember that. Don't be sad if you don't get it on your first try. It's about trial and error. It was difficult for me in the beginning. When I first started Kerbal Space Program, I had difficulties with docking. But now, there we go. So I decided, because I couldn't get a good encounter, I decided to basically make a smaller orbit, basically a faster orbit, so I can catch up with my target. Because the problem is my target is actually ahead of me. So I need to I need to make myself go quicker. So I basically lowered my orbit, and then I just skip orbit. But first of all, I'm trying to get a nice orbit. I'm trying to mess around with the maneuver nodes. I can't get it to work, so I just skip the orbit. Yeah, just skip orbits. It's a good thing to do. Just wait. Like, I'm trying to get it right. I don't know what I'm doing right now, but whatever. So yeah, you want to get a lower orbit if your target is in front of you. If you're in front of the target, you want a higher orbit. Those are good things to remember. So we're almost there. So I decided to basically skip orbit, one orbit, and there we go. We've got a very close encounter. So yeah, if you basically slow yourself down, you'll eventually get a good encounter, or if you go faster, then you will eventually get a good encounter. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is, remember that if your target is in front of you, then you're going to need a lower orbit to go faster. If you're ahead of the target, then you're going to need a higher orbit to go slower and catch up with the target. I meant let the target catch up with you. So there we go. We are getting a nice orbit. Orbit encounter. Yeah, this video is definitely not scripted. I've got like a sort of script in my head, but no, it's not scripted. So where's the next step? Well, we haven't reached the next step because now I'm just playing around with retrograde, prograde until we get a nice and close encounter. I would recommend a lower than 2,000 meters encounter. That's pretty good, and then you can of course fiddle around with it. And there we go, our intercept is pretty good. Remember, save game. Always do quick saves. It is extremely important. Yeah, it's important to save the game. Like, yeah, if you don't save, you're in for a ride. Because if something goes wrong, then you have to go back a long time ago. And Paige is back for some reason. So there we go. So now we just time warp until we get nice and close to this encounter. And next we have step 5. So we're now preparing for step 5, because step 5 is of course slowing down. You need to slow down to be around 10 meters per second relative to the target. So you basically want to change your speed thing to be relative to target, and you want to get that down to as low as you can, like 1 meter per second. So you basically want to do that, like that, and then you want to retrograde. You want to burn retrograde relative to the target until you're nice and slow. And then you want to point towards the target to get a close encounter. And then after that you want to burn retrograde again later on. You want to burn retrograde once you're as close to the ship as possible. So this is of course the easy method of docking. So as we can see our target right now, so you just want to wait until it's nice and close. And there we go, I'm starting to burn because I'm realizing I'm very close. So burning retrograde, we currently have 4 meters per second. And then I'll try to slow myself down to, there we go, 0.1. So then you want to press control from here at the docking port, and then extend the docking port. That's what you want to do. Now we're at step 6, which is docking. So you want to switch to your target, and then you want to first of all control from here at the docking port, and then you want to go target. You want to point towards the target, and this basically means that you will be perfectly aligned for the docking. So perfectly aligned. Now you just burn a little bit, and I would recommend time warping like that. You basically don't change, like the tilt of the ship doesn't change. Then once you're nice and close, remove time warp, go time warp again, and there we go. First time we docked. So you might not get this on first try. Just try again. It's not very difficult. It's the easy method, the best method. So yeah, on first try. So now save game just to make sure you don't lose this, because it's very important. So congratulations, viewer at home. Robert, you successfully docked. I hope I didn't freak out someone called Robert, but whatever, too late. So of course, when docking, you want to remember these 6 easy steps, which are now on screen. The 6 easy steps. Step 1, build your vessel. Step 2, wait. Step 3, launch. Step 4, maneuver nodes. Step 5, slow down. And of course, step 6, docking. So if you remember these 6 steps, you will be able to dock with ease. And that's it for this video. On the left hand side is a video for you, on the right hand side is a playlist, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.